Imagine a place where the worst of society was confined, Blackwater Prison. A place that once stood as an imposing fortress against the backdrop of a desolate landscape. It was known for housing the most dangerous criminals, the ones who cast a shadow on humanity with their heinous deeds. Legends swirled around this prison, legends of inmates who mysteriously vanished, leaving behind nothing but the eerie sound of dragging chains echoing through the cold stone corridors. Today, Blackwater Prison is a mere shell of its former self, a crumbling ruin swallowed by time and forgotten by the world. Its once formidable bars now rusted, corridors damp and the air heavy with the scent of mold and iron. Yet the chilling tales of Blackwater Prison are not just confined to its history. They linger just like the ghostly whispers and the faint clinking of chains in the silence of the night, an ominous reminder of the prison's sinister past. Among the curious and brave were Jenna, Mark and Danny, urban explorers drawn to the mysteries of Blackwater. Jenna, the fearless leader, had a knack for uncovering the secrets hidden in the shadows. Mark, the tech whiz, was always ready with a flashlight or a camera, capturing the unseen. And then there was Danny, the skeptic, who laughed in the face of the supernatural. Their bond was born out of shared thrill for the unknown, and the stories that lay within the abandoned and forgotten corners of the world. This time, their adventure led them to the heart of darkness itself, the Blackwater Prison. A place whispered about in hushed tones, where the only inhabitants were the ghosts of the past. With excitement and trepidation, they decided to spend a night within its decaying walls, to unravel the mysteries that lay within. Little did they know, they were about to unravel the truth behind the legends. Venturing into the prison was like stepping into a time-forgotten maze of rust and dread. The trio navigated through the labyrinth of cells, their flashlights casting slender beams of light through the gloom. The air was thick with the smell of damp stone and rotting iron, a scent so potent it seemed to cling to their clothes and skin. Every footstep echoed eerily, magnifying the silence that pressed in from all sides. The only other sound was the distant drip, drip, drip of water trickling from some unseen source. Their voices, when they dared to speak, sounded strange and alien in the oppressive silence. As they ventured deeper, the prison seemed to awaken, as if their presence had stirred something that had been dormant for decades. A subtle change in the atmosphere, a shift that made the hairs on the back of their necks stand up. The air grew colder, the silence heavier. Then they started to hear it. A faint, almost inaudible clinking sound, echoing through the corridors like a soft, chilling lullaby. As they paused to listen, it grew louder, the rhythm steady and unbroken. The sound of chains being dragged across the floor, a chilling reminder of the prison's haunted past. Danny, ever the joker, laughed it off, suggesting it was their overactive imaginations playing tricks on them. But Jenna and Mark exchanged uneasy glances. Their laughter was hollow, their smiles forced. The sense of unease had taken root, curling around their hearts like the cold chains of Blackwater. As they pushed forwards, the whispers began. Words they couldn't quite catch, murmurs that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. The clinking of chains became their constant companion, a haunting soundtrack to their exploration. Their flashlights flickered, casting strange, dancing shadows that seemed to have a life of their own. What started as a thrilling adventure was slowly turning into a nightmarish ordeal. The prison's chilling secrets were beginning to unravel, and they were in the heart of it. Unseen, unheard, they delved deeper into the darkness, towards the unknown, towards the unsettling discoveries that awaited them. The prison was not as abandoned as it seemed. The eerie silence was soon shattered by a terrifying scream. It was Danny. His face, a mask of pure terror, was illuminated by the flickering light of their torches. A chain, cold and rusted, had wrapped itself around his ankle, tightening with an unnatural strength. Jenna and Mark rushed to his aid, their hearts pounding in their chests like wild drums. They pulled at the chain, their hands raw and bleeding, but it was as if the chain was alive, yanking Danny back with a force they couldn't match. The darkness seemed to reach out, wrapping itself around Danny, pulling him into its cold embrace. The whispers they'd heard earlier had transformed into guttural growls, echoing off the damp prison walls. The sound of dragging chains filled the air, a chilling symphony of unseen terror. In the flickering torchlight, they could see Danny's terrified face receding into the darkness, his screams echoing long after he had disappeared from sight. Jenna and Mark, fueled by adrenaline and terror, ran for their lives. Their breaths came in ragged gasps, their footsteps echoing in the empty corridors. The growls and chains seemed to follow them, a constant reminder of the unseen horror that had claimed their friend. The prison was a labyrinth, a maze of rusted bars and damp corridors that seemed to stretch on forever. But they pushed on, driven by pure instinct until they finally burst into the cool night air. They looked back at the prison, its silhouette a haunting reminder of the terror they had just escaped. The night was silent, but in their minds the growls and chains echoed on. Danny was never found. The only trace of him was the echo of his screams and the chain that had claimed him. The chains of Blackwater had claimed another victim. Blackwater Prison's haunting echoes serve as a grim reminder of its past. Danny's mysterious disappearance within its cold, forbidding walls is a chilling testament to the unseen, malevolent forces that some believe still lurk in the shadows. A stark echo of the prison's dark past, the clinking chains of Blackwater are a nightmarish melody that continues to play, a chilling serenade to those brave, or perhaps foolish enough to venture within its derelict confines. Imagine for a moment, if you will, that we all have our own Blackwater prisons, our own unseen chains that bind and pull us into the unknown. The tale of Danny, Jenna and Mark is a stark reminder that these unseen forces are not to be trifled with. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe and follow us for more chilling chronicles. Delve deeper into the shadows, uncover the unseen, face your fears and join the adventure, if you dare.